Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Booked. My name's Saffron Asteria, and I'm joined today by Michael Nunneley. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be on the show. This sounds fun.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I feel like this has been a long time coming, and I kind of say that to everybody because I started all this stuff that I'm doing 18 months ago or something. And I didn't think that this many people would be interested in getting involved in anything I was doing. And so I'm now doing all these shows a week because I don't want people to have to wait a year to talk to me. Nobody knows who I am. But we do have somebody that's already joined us. There was a bit of a mix-up with the scheduling. That is totally on me. I accidentally scheduled this for 3 o'clock, but you very graciously turned up an hour earlier than you thought you were going to have to. So thank you. So Grant, hello. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Grant.
So yeah, we're here to talk about you and your work and your creative endeavors. So before I start rambling on with strange questions, could you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your writing?
Okay. My name is Michael Nunneley, and I tend to add horror to various genres. Like in my first book, I added horror to like a detective type story. In my second book, I'm adding horror to like a Norse grimdark fantasy story. So I'm a big horror fan, so I tend to add that stuff in there. I'm also a podcaster. I'm on a show called Cinema Crusaders where we review old movies. And let's see what else. I'm a musician. I'm currently working on trying to set up a way where I can play intros for people's shows or something along those lines.
That's very cool.
But I've been kind of doing some home recordings and stuff with that. But yeah, other than that, I am your average geek nerd type guy, cinephile. I love to read, big Trekkie. Yeah.
So just creative through and through is what you're telling me.
Yes. Oh, I'm also very into martial arts.
Of course you are. That's really cool. So in fact, what is this? Okay. So I let people basically schedule when they wanted to come on the show. And it just so happens that the person I interviewed 2 days ago is an expert in judo and loves superhero stuff.
I am far from an expert. I am I took 2 different martial arts classes. I took Shaolin Kung Fu and I took Taekwondo. Here's the problem is if you don't pay at least $400 or $500 a month at least for your classes, you're not going to get good classes.
Really?
I am too poor for the classes I needed to take. So while they teach you moves, they teach you no technique at all. And it wasn't until after I got out of those classes and I started getting into MMA that I actually started learning some technique. Cool. But I would not say I am a master of any of them.
Well, not yet, you're not.
Yeah.
Do you like old noir, or are they just older films?
We could do a noir type of film. Mostly, we tend to look for themes we could do for a month. Like in January, we did sci-fis, and in this month, as neither me or my co-host are big on relationships, I guess you could say, with the opposite sex, we didn't really want to get into a romance subject for the topic of February.
Don't blame you.
Bunch of cynical old men griping doesn't sound very fun at all. So we decided to go for thrillers this month. But it's that kind of thing. It's I mean, I don't know that I don't remember ever doing a noir. But I mean, I'd certainly be down with doing something like a Maltese Falcon or something like that. I could totally be down with that.
You could call it Noir November.
There you go. Hey,
just saying.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
You can have that one for free.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So how long have you been doing a podcast for?
I have been podcasting since 2019. I've had a variety of them, actually. There was one called Omen Revelations Podcast, and that actually, it was a mix of, I have two publishing labels, Omen Publications and Revelation Publications. So Omen Revelation Podcast was a mix of the two where we just kind of talk about anything. Then there was Countless Corpses podcast, where we talked about horror movies specifically. And I think we got taken off of YouTube, and I think it was because of a specific section of our show. I don't know. It was all AI that did it. I didn't get to talk to any actual people.
Oh, I see.
But we had the section of the show called Counting the Corpses, where we would actually go through and we would talk about the different kills in the show and how the effects were done and everything like that. And I don't know. One day I went to look at my show and it was just gone.
That's sad. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, so I mean, I really enjoyed that a lot, but yeah, it's just gone. There's no way to get it back. But since then, we're doing the Cinema Crusaders things. But I've been podcasting since, like I said, since 2019.
Yeah. Is it? Do you find that it's a good way to like talk out your creative process? Because I recorded a show. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who it was yet, because I don't think it's been announced, but I recorded a show this morning, and it was all based around like a piece of media that I find creatively inspiring, and I picked It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Because of their like characterization and their like storytelling ability and various other things that I find interesting. Right. So do you find that talking about movie production and giving your commentary on things like that, does that help you with your storytelling process, do you think?
Not so much talking about it, but when as a writer, my brain, when I'm taking in a story in any medium, my brain is automatically analyzing how the story is being told and seeing if I can pick up anything from what they're doing. So like it is helping me in the sense that when I'm watching a movie now for the show, I need to analyze it. And so I'm watching it, trying to look for things and appreciate the storytelling or the acting here and there. And so, I mean, it helps me in the sense that it basically gives me an opportunity to do with movies what I do with movies all the time anyway. I love to watch movies that I've seen a whole bunch of times and pick apart, well, you know what? They revealed this later, and I like how they planted these scenes here, and I just love picking movies apart like that.
Oh, that's cool. Is it largely about the storytelling aspect, or do you look at like the lighting and actual cinematography?
Oh yeah, we look at effects and everything. Obviously, we look at the acting. We want to look at the writing, yes, but also the story too. Like for instance, recently we did the Count of Monte Cristo. The one that came out, I want to say it was like 2002 or 2001. One of the really early ones. One of the later editions. Anyway, there wasn't so much about the writing in that particular case that I liked, although there were some things about it. What really stuck with me was the story. Like I will remember the story about that guy for the rest of my life. That kind of a thing. So I don't know if that makes sense.
It does totally make sense, because sometimes stories are like good fun and they keep us engaged because they're exciting or whatever, but sometimes stories, and I'm not saying all the time, need to have that connection that you can get with them. So whether it's you're invested in the main character or you're invested in whatever it is, the element that you find exciting, but it doesn't always have to be like action and gore and stuff. It does a lot for me, but like I like you, I don't really care for like romantic relationship dynamics in a film. I find that to actually be a massive turn off for a movie, because I'm like, oh my god, who cares? Like, I don't know these people. It's not my life, so who cares? But when somebody is like losing their mind and going down this deep like depressive spiral, I'm like, this is good television. So it depends on the audience, because I know that there are a lot of writers out there who truly believe that complex relationships or like romantic relationships can really enhance a story. And I do believe that is the case sometimes. But I think largely I don't like it. Not a fan.
I had to in the book that's coming out here pretty soon. I had to write a romantic relationship, and
How did that go?
well, the tagline for the book is "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned," and that goes double when she's a sorceress. So you take your own impressions from that.
It's true. If we had to, we'd be dangerous. That's hilarious. So,
and you'll notice like in the Dread as one place I did this, but I do this in all of my books. I'm really into philosophy. So I really love to delve into these philosophical ideas about, existence and, how do you deal with the world outside when it conflicts with what's going on inside and all of that whole just trying to work through. A lot of the Dread is the main character just trying to do that work. What the hell is going on with me and why? How do I work this out?
Yeah, that guy goes on a massive stressful journey, self-discovery and existential crisis after existential crisis, which that's what I enjoyed about that particular book. So as I said, I've got like, I don't know, like only a couple of pages left of the Dread, but time gets away from me and I'm very easily distracted. So what I liked about this was I didn't know what to expect. So I don't go into books very often knowing what it's going to be. So I saw the cover, I read the title, and I thought, well, that's it. That's all I want to know. Okay. So as I'm working through this, as I said before we started this, I love a multiple POV. So I like the flitting between like, okay, this is that person's point of view, that's that person's point of view, and you can see where you kind of like jump around a little bit. So that this is like present day, and then this is what happened on the day that he's talking about. So I enjoy things like that because it keeps my attention span.
Nice.
So very much enjoyed that. I also liked how it kind of constantly moved forward. There wasn't too much like dwelling on nonsensical descriptives, which I really like, and it's very action packed and it's quite violent, which I liked. But despite the cover being somebody pointing a gun at somebody else, I didn't expect there to be that much violence, but there was quite a lot.
I was raised on slashers, so
yeah, I could tell. But there is some existentialism in here, and I wondered. So I was reading your bio, and I know that you've had like spiritual teachings in your life. So I wondered how much that played into your storytelling in this, because there is a lot of like nods to some sort of religion, but obviously it's built differently than perhaps ones that are more common in the real world. Right. Obviously it's not set on Earth, it's New Earth. So yeah, how much did that play into your storytelling with this particular one?
Well, while I am a Christian, I wasn't trying to portray that in the story. My journey, I actually studied all kinds of religions before I ended up where I'm at, because I didn't want to just be spoon fed something. I wanted to look a little. I want, what does this say, and what does this say, and that kind of thing. And so there's what I ended up with in the Dread is kind of a mixture of in this particular way. Pearson is kind of like me in that we kind of took I'm going to take this from here and I'm going to take this from here, and these things. Have you seen the movie Enemy Mine?
No.
Okay, you have an alien and a human stuck on a planet together, and the human is reading the alien's Bible, for lack of a better term. And he's saying, he's seeing the same things that Jesus said in this Bible that he's reading. And he's like, I've heard all this before. And the alien says, of course, truth is truth. And that really stuck with me, that you could have that truth isn't conscripted to just one person or one place or one idea, and in that, I think that's why you see that exploration in the dread. He himself is going on this, like, what does this even mean? How am I connected to that? Like, yeah.
It's interesting because I think a lot of times writers do, whether it's conscious or not, put themselves into their own work, and sometimes it can be a really good way of working through our own sort of thoughts and processes by letting them live out this like crazy, unbelievable story, so that you can kind of see how you might react to certain things or how you have reacted to certain things in the past. But yeah, I think it's very cool.
There is, as far as things like me in the character, I also suffer from panic attacks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They did feel lived in their descriptions. It wasn't like a WebMD description. It was very much like I have definitely done this. Right. So how did it feel to actually put that into words and put that into one of your characters? Was it cathartic in any way?
I don't know that it was cathartic. I suppose it helped me to explore it a little bit. But I mean, I was essentially just saying, okay, well, I've been in situations kind of like this, and it caused a panic attack, and this is how I felt. So here you go. So I mean, it's I don't know about catharsis though. I mean, I suppose on some level there had to be some of it there. I don't know how you can think through that stuff and not have some sort of thing like that going on, but not on a conscious level.
No. Okay. Well, that's what I meant earlier, because when sometimes I don't know what your writing process is, so maybe I'll start off with that. So do you plan ahead when you're telling a story? Are you a planner? Are you a pantser? Are you not neither? How does your creative process work?
Well, I am definitely a plotter. I'm full-on plotter, like to ridiculous, meticulous amounts. But I usually start with the end of a story. I picture a scenario, and then I'm like, well, how the hell would somebody get to there? And then it's about backstepping until I get to about the middle, and then it's from, well, how do I get people to there? That's how I build the story. But I mean, it starts out with my outlines. For the Dread, my outline just for the world that the Dread was set in was like, I want to say like 12 pages long. But you'll notice the in the Dread, the world that they're interacted with feels lived in. It doesn't. I don't have to go into these big technical descriptions of how everything is working, because they're interacting with it. You can tell. And I that's why I usually build the world first. Like, I get an idea for the ending, I build the world around that, and then I write the story within that world.
It's interesting you say that, because that's something I definitely picked up on when I was reading this. It's very much like, I appreciate that you didn't info dump, so you weren't like, oh, let me tell you about this like really long history of what had happened. There were just little hints of it, or like, as you say, the way that they interacted with the world, and you kind of just stated it because it's like that, because it is like that. It wasn't a case of trying to justify your choices creatively. You were very much saying like, well, this is how this works, and we're very what's the word? It's very like surveillance state.
Right.
And there's like
absolutely
the hierarchy is really interesting. And again, you didn't spend a ton of time in one chunk saying like, this is what this thing looks like. You get little dropped hints as the story goes on, as they're going to different places. And I appreciate that as a reader. I don't want to have to be told something and then have to remember it for the rest of the story. I like being reminded of it as I'm going along and learning more things. So yeah, you did that very well. And so when it comes to you creating this world, do you draw things? Or is it written down? Do you have bullet points? How is it structured?
I mean, I draw things in the sense that I draw them with words. Like I get an idea out, and I will describe it and put it all out. And like a lot of times a story will start with an idea. It'll just be put it down, and I'll just slowly build it out into it.
Mhm.
But I mean, there's no drawing involved. I once I have it written out, I tend to I go on walks. And in doing so, I tend to just stare at the ground while I'm walking and imagine.
Mhm.
And that is where I do my picturing. But no art. No art. It's all most of the information I'm giving myself to picture it is like I look up, for instance, I looked up things like what would be involved in a space station surviving between Earth and Mars. What would be required for that? Well, let's see. You could have to. You notice I have synthetic sun lamps because even people in Alaska who don't get enough sunlight have to wear those little hats that put the lights down on their face so that they don't get depressed. Little things like that I had to put in. I put into the whole thing.
So you put, I don't know if this is a spoiler. I'm going to try really hard for it not to be, but very early on, we learned that our main character is very troubled and he's got a lot of stuff going on. The world itself is incredibly rich, and there's a lot to be had within this. Do you feel that this is going to be a standalone story? Because I could see this being way bigger than it is. I'd like a prequel.
Right. No, it is a standalone. It is a standalone story. Although I have, you're not the first to suggest that another book should follow this one. But I don't. Well, what? For instance, the book that I'm writing, that I'm almost done editing right now, Scorn. I had planned on that being a novel, but when I wrote it out, it was a novella length. You know what I mean? I'm not going to add fluff to my story for the sake of length. If my story is only 3 pages long, it's only 3 pages long. I'm worried about telling my story effectively, not fluff for that. And so, I don't know if that makes sense.
So you'd be probably forcing it if you tried to squeeze another book out of it because the story's done.
Right. Okay. I've said what needed to be said. I mean, it might be fun. I really enjoyed writing The Dread, although having evolved a bit as a writer since writing it, there were things I would do differently. But for instance, The Dread is in many ways the result of listening to a variety of the writing discussions on X, which just from my general synopsis are from a lot of people that don't sound like they like to read. But I don't know. But just things about I don't want you to ever tell me anything, and you have to show and don't tell all the time, and all this. And so I was, in writing The Dread, I was literally afraid to describe anything. Because I was so afraid of this backlash of, well, they don't like that. One guy literally told me I should write for those who don't want to read.
What?
Not even kidding.
Rubbish information.
I don't know. But this stuff kind of polluted my thinking when I wrote The Dread, and it is in large ways a product of that.
Interesting. So were you aware that was the case when you were writing it, or is that something you realized upon reflection?
Oh no, I was definitely aware of it. I kept wanting to do things, and I was like, no, they're not going to like that. I can't do that, or something like that. Whereas with whereas with Scorn, the book that I wrote, I just let my voice go, and I think it's better.
Good. I'm glad. And we should always seek to be, it sounds really wishy-washy, but more true to who we are as creators, because at the end of the day, if you're going through this do you guys have ping pong here?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're going through this ping pong match of I want to do this thing. Oh, they might not like it. Screw them. Who cares? They're just strangers on the internet. Ugh.
Right.
But you should really enjoy what you do. There's no point in creating art if it's a chore, or if you're questioning every choice you make.
It was never a chore. I allowed the opinions of people I didn't agree with to restrain me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're not doing that now.
Yeah. Me too.
So you've already mentioned it a couple of times, so let's dive into it. You're practically done with your next release. So The Dread was your debut sort of publication. So this is going to be number 2. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yes. Essentially a Viking king is it, and this hold on, I need to paint this world a little bit.
You're fine, take your time.
Okay. The world, imagine a world where Norse mythology is real. It exists and breathes in real life. You literally go out each morning and put butter out on the rock for the Alva so that they will bless your crops. I mean, that kind of real. Okay. Okay. So in essence, Freya, the goddess of war, sends King Ingvar on a quest to rescue Munin. Are you familiar with Norse mythology?
Nope. Okay. I'm getting stuff from context, so
okay. Odin had the Allfather, the king of the Norse gods, has 2 ravens, Hugin and Munin, and they are his thought and his memory. One of those ravens, Munin, was stolen. Now Odin himself, the Allfather, who is obsessed with gaining knowledge, now has no memory.
Oh.
So Freya is like, dude, we need you to go get this raven. So she sends him off to this place to get the raven. And while he is there, he falls in love with a Volva, which is she's kind of a multifaceted type of character. A Volva is a sorceress. She can raise the dead and speak with them. She can heal. It's one of those, you take all the various types of magicians that we separate into various groups, and that's a Volva. She does many of these things. Anyway, he falls in love with her, and she falls in love with him. The kicker comes when he's like, so, yeah, I got a wife and a kid back home, and I gotta go. I mean, it was not like that. I'm being sarcastic, but no. It was actually really horrible for him. He genuinely did fall in love with her. He felt indebted to her. He admired her. He respected her, and it just kind of blossomed into this affection. It wasn't something he could control. It just kind of happened. But yeah, so that one decision ripples into the rest of his life. And ultimately leads to the end. It is grimdark, very grimdark.
Fun, though.
It is extremely violent.
Excellent.
And I honestly think that this while this story is ultimately about, I think, what it means to be a man and what it means to be a leader. And what it means what those things mean when things are at their absolute worst. On the other hand, I also think that there is a lot of emotional depth and complexity here that would be something that I think any gender would really enjoy. I don't want to paint this as a male story. There is a scene in the book where King Ingvar is he's lost. He's lost his wife. He's lost everything. And he's laying there in bed, just missing his wife. He's sitting there just searching his mind for any kind of memory that he might be able to hold on to just for a brief second, like a precious treasure. It's this kind of none of the characters are shallow. That yes, they are warriors, but there is deep complexity to them. They have emotions, they have thoughts, it's one of the main things I wanted to do was portray Vikings as something other, because I'm Swedish. I wanted to portray Vikings in a way that was other than, yes, we just rape and pillage. Like there's so much more to Scandinavian culture than that. And I guess I just wanted to show that these weren't just warriors, that they have depth, they have meaning. And I think that it is my opinion that the Scorn is a story that will stick with you, especially due to the ending.
Awesome. Don't give that away.
Okay.
So before the recording started, so you said that it's due to come out sort of in March-ish time.
Yes, we're gonna finish editing the last chapter this weekend. And so as soon as that's done, I'm gonna have a PDF made, and then I'm going to submit it to KDP. When it comes out is all dependent on when KDP approves it, and it's ready to go.
Great. Oh, he's disappeared. He's coming back. What happened there?
I don't know.
Maybe KDP were listening and they were like, not today.
Don't be saying that stuff, man.
So I think it cut out at the right time, so it's okay. I don't think we missed anything. Cool. So when it comes out, send me the link and I will put it in the description of the episode. So if you're watching this from March onwards, there is a good chance that it'll be available. So check out the link in the description. And you can also, I've heard that this is very good for authors. You can click on the link that's already there for the Dread, and you can follow Michael Nunneley. And that will mean that you get a notification when you release anything.
Also, in reference to the Dread, if you like audiobooks, the guy who did the audiobook he just did an amazing job. It was not just he didn't just read the story. There was a performance. There was you could get the sense that it was different people talking. You know what I mean? And he did. There is a part in the Dread where I don't want to give this away. Let's see. There's a part where sound effects are required for a voice.
Okay.
And he did it so well that I wrote the scene. I knew it was coming, and when I heard the voice, my heart jumped.
That's some good acting.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're into audiobooks, I would recommend the Dread audiobook. It is really good. Oh, you froze. Uh-oh. Oh, there you are.
I've had a power cut. That was weird.
Oh, weird. Yeah, your lights are all out and everything.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know we're just going to have to do it in the dark. I don't know what happened there. I might be able to turn this on. Hang on.
Well, I have this theory.
Weird.
See, I'm Swedish, but I'm also Irish. And it is my opinion that the guy who wrote Murphy's Law, Murphy himself, I think that he has it out for me personally. And so therefore, I should probably just warn people, if you're going to be around me, you might catch a little spitfire, is all I'm saying.
I'd love to know how this is connected. Because I've lost power, but I'm on a laptop, so that's why we're able to still do this. But my internet must still be working because I'm on the what the hell is it called? I'm connected via an Ethernet cable, so that's really weird.
That is weird because if your internet shouldn't be working right now.
Yeah, spooky. I'm gonna. Oh, that looks even worse. That's terrifying. Oh, the joys of technology. Anyway, so we're still here. We're still doing our thing. So we'll keep going. So we did have a question from the chat. So Grant asked. This is a music-related question.
Okay.
Query: what is your favorite metal band? I'm curious to know as well.
My favorite. Wow, that's like asking me to. Yeah, that. I love so many metal bands. Let's see.
Like them.
I really love Slayer. They are probably
I
my
love
favorite
Slayer as well.
thrash metal band. Yes. Favorite Slayer albums. Rain and Blood, Hell Awaits, and Seasons in the Abyss.
Nice. I saw Slayer when I was at school.
Nice.
They were so good, but it was after the lead singer had his back surgery, so he was like headbanging, but not quite as good as he used to.
Right. Right. Totally understandably.
Such a good show. It was such a good show because I think it was supposed to be like a particular time, and then he had to have his surgery, so then it got moved. And I must have been like 16 or something.
Nice.
Too young to be drinking. I'll leave that there. But no, they're a ton of fun to see live. Do you like Lamb of God?
I've really only heard a little bit of them. It was, I want to say, what was that album? I can't even remember the name of the album. It was probably like mid 2000s last time I heard them. I haven't really had a whole lot of exposure to them, really.
I'd go back to them.
Okay.
Have a check it out, because even the newer stuff that they're putting out is really good. It's really good.
Speaking of newest stuff, did you get the new Megadeth album? The final Megadeth album?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh,
I'm very behind with my. Oh, that's creepy. I think the power's come on again.
Nice.
Now we're having a disco. If you have epilepsy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know that was going to happen. That's better. Oh my goodness. What a weird day. This is.
I did warn you about the Murphy thing.
Oh my goodness.
There we go.
That was all
Let
very
there be
crazy.
light.
Anyway, so Lamb of God. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I agree. They're interfering. They know what's up. I don't think it was YouTube. I think it was the house. I think they said the computer virus. I don't know what's going on. That's really throwing me off. Anyway, so yes, so you're a music fan. So you're a musician, and that's very cool.
What do you play? Drums, bass, and guitar.
That's cool.
And while I don't think I'm a great singer, I am an adequate singer.
It's good if you enjoy it. It's good enough.
Yeah. I'm just I think I'm a much better guitarist than I am a singer. I sing mostly because I can't get somebody else to sing with me.
Not yet. Here's an open call.
I'm not looking. It's not like it's been I have tried various careers in my life. One of them was trying a music career, and I tried that for about 5 years and didn't really get much of anywhere. Played like maybe a dozen shows. I recorded 5 like demos at my dad's studio in Idaho, and that was about the end of it.
Oh, well, is it something you do every day?
I play guitar every day for sure.
What sort of stuff do you play?
Well, this might sound a little weird. You know, have you ever watched Justice League Unlimited?
No.
Okay, they have this the intro music for the show. I'm currently picking out how to play that on the guitar.
Oh, that's cool.
But I play a lot of metal. I play a lot of blues. I'm heavily influenced by Delta blues. Even you froze up again. Even the metal I play is often done in blues scales. Uh-oh. There she is.
I've never had this many connection issues in my whole time of doing this show. I'm very sorry. I have no idea what's going on. Very weird.
I don't really think it's your fault.
I'm not going to blame myself, really. Okay, so just so that I can make sure that we cover everything. So we've gone over the Dread a little bit. We've talked about your upcoming release. Did you say it was called The Scourge?
Scorn.
Oh, Scorn. Sorry, I was thinking of somebody else's book.
And
very similar words.
Right. Also, not only is my second book coming out, I am currently working on book 3.
Oh, very cool. How far are we into it?
Well, I have about 7 chapters that are written out from what I did before, but they're not really up to par. So I'm having to go over them and kind of refine some things. And I had somebody, the guy who edited The Dread, and he edited Scorn. He was actually doing some of the writing in the Omenverse that I did. Awesome. He had a couple of titles. This was back when they were comics, and so I was expecting him to do a couple of these books, and that kind of got shifted over to me to do. So I'm having to kind of reframe some things. But right now, I am obsessing about the first chapter. I don't know. I don't know if non-writers know this, but I mean, there is so much that goes into a first chapter. Okay, that first sentence has to be a grabber. That first paragraph has to be a grabber, and you have to keep their attention the entire first paragraph, or they might not even finish your book. So, I mean, the first chapter is the most stressful chapter of all of them for me to write.
I so see that. The amount of times that I've gone over my first chapter is I've lost count.
Right.
It's going to be the most polished, overworked part of the whole book.
Totally. There's just so much that goes into it. I mean, honestly, it hinders my ability to storytell it at certain points, because it's not just the first chapter. You've got to grab them on the first chapter and the last chapter of every succeeding chapter after that. I mean, the first paragraph and the last paragraph of every succeeding chapter after that. And so I have to plan. I can't just go to the next part of the story I want to tell. I have to be able to plan. I have to plan a part of the story that is going to grab them at the beginning. And then I have to leave it off at just the right part of the story that they want. It's just, there's so much that goes into the process beyond just telling a story.
Yeah, I can see why people become tortured artists. I'm going to say about that.
I will say though that I don't have the it's not a chore for me. I don't feel guilty when I don't write. That's
good.
I don't have, there seems to be a general amount of stress just involved in writing on X, and that's really my main experience there. And I don't have this stress. I can't relate. And so, you know what I mean?
Really good thing.
It is.
Yeah. I've definitely stepped away from using it too much, and it's done wonders for my brain.
For sure.
So recommend. So before we start winding down the episode, if anybody does have any questions for Mike, please do put them in the chat. This is your last chance. So the last 2 questions that I always ask everybody at the end of a show. The first one is, what does success look like to you as a writer?
Okay. I'm not looking for massive success. Honestly, I would like something, and I'm going to drop a name here that's going to make you think something, but that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
In the town where he lives, Stephen King is a bit of a local celebrity. I would be happy with just that. You know what I mean? I would be happy if just the people in my town knew who I was. I don't require a massive following. I didn't even get into this to make money. I got into this because I have a passion for telling stories, and it's not something I really have a choice about. I have these things inside of me, and they will burn until I release them.
Well, I'm certain that's within your grasp, and if all else fails, you could just streak through the main street and everybody would know you after that. And then you can start telling them about your book. Oh, sorry, the dogs are barking. This is going very well. Apologies, the dogs are trying to get involved. Can you still hear me over there barking?
I can.
Okay.
I can.
I'm going to ask you the next question, and then I'm going to mute my microphone while you answer.
Okay.
So if you could go back to the first time that you started writing, like fully committing to storytelling, if you could give yourself any advice, what advice would you give?
Study first. I really think that it is important to learn the set structures. It is important to learn the set format, the rules, the standards. Before, you have to know them inside and out before you can choose which ones you're going to break, which one you're not going to use, which ones you are going to use. And I didn't do that. When I first started telling stories, it was with comics. And I figured I've read 1,000 comics. How hard could writing one be? Boy, was I wrong. Yeah, but I mean, since then, I have invested some time and some money into actually learning the craft, and things are a lot better. I just wish I look back on the comics that I wrote, and I almost wish I never put them out because I didn't know enough to tell the craft well. I didn't have enough experience or knowledge to do it well, and just assuming that it could just be done on what I knew, I regret it now. There's no other way to say
it. I can understand why you would feel regret, but at the time you thought you were doing the right thing, and
I did.
Being able to acknowledge the gaps that you have in your skill set, for example, and being able to take those and learn new things and keep producing better and better products every time you produce something, that is the mark of a good writer, in my opinion. Like, nobody is perfect from the beginning, and if you are, then you're some freak of nature. Like, you either have to put in a ton of work, and lots of people will write stuff and not put it out there, but by putting it out there, you can then see the vulnerability in it, and people can give you feedback if you want them to give you feedback, and XYZ. You know, I imagine there are tons of people that probably feel similarly to you. And there are even writers whose works I'm reading now who I've read their earlier stuff, and I can see how much they've improved as storytellers and as writers later down the line. So, you know, you'll get people that believe in you and they'll stick by you, even if, you know, the first stuff that you put out there isn't exactly what you want to represent you. But as long as you're continuously trying to improve your craft and you're putting it out there and you're putting in the effort, people will see that.
I certainly hope so. And you know, that is a bit of advice I might even give. I don't think you should ever compare yourself to another writer.
Yeah.
Rather, you should just try to be better than your former self. Yes. And that's all I'm going for. Yeah.
Yeah. And that works with everything.
Yeah.
As long as you get up each day and try and be just a little bit better than you were yesterday, even if you can't give the energy, like just even a little bit as a person, that's all you can do.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for being here today. I can't believe the cacophony of nonsense that happened during the show, but thank you for sticking with me. And if you're still watching this since the beginning, you're a trooper. Thank you for sticking with us throughout the weird Norse god interference that we had.
Damn Loki, anyway.
So if you're watching the recording, then please do check out Mike's book. And it will be books if you watch a bit later. And you can check out all of his work. You're on Twitter, I believe. And yeah, give it a go. Why not?
Hell yeah. I really think again, I gotta suggest that audiobook for The Dread.
Yes, absolutely.
And I just want to say I think that I am more proud of Scorn than I have been of anything I've written before.
Oh. That's a good advert. That's a good advert when people are proud of what they produce, because it absolutely comes out in the reading experience. But thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate your time, and I wish nothing but success for you. We've got a latecomer. We're just finishing. Thank you for coming by, Fitzgerald. Yeah, so I'll catch you on the other side. I'm going to wave very awkwardly, and don't go anywhere. I'll see you in a minute.
All right.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.